Greetings, dear friends. In this fast-paced world, we often find ourselves caught in the whirlwind of emotions and reactions. From the moment we wake up until we fall asleep, we are constantly engaging with the world around us, responding to events, people, and situations. But what if I told you that true peace lies in our ability to not react? Today, we will explore the transformative power of not reacting, a concept deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings. Let's start by looking at the very nature of reactivity. Every single moment of our lives is an invitation to respond. Someone cuts us off in traffic, and without a second thought, we might feel anger rise in our chest. A harsh word from a loved one, and we immediately retaliate with our own biting response. This is the mind reacting, usually with emotion, habit, or a sense of self. Reacting in this sense is often automatic. We don't have time to think, and the emotions take over. These reactions are tied to our desires, fears, and attachments. When someone challenges us, we feel a need to defend our ego, our identity. But in the Buddhist view, this cycle of reaction is where suffering arises. Why? Because we are not acting with wisdom. We are acting out of conditioned responses. Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering is in our attachment to things, including our own ego. This attachment leads to reactivity. But the Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, showed us that there is another way, a way of non-reactivity, which is often referred to as upekkha in Pali, meaning equanimity or mental calmness. Imagine for a moment that someone insults you. Instead of feeling anger or defensiveness arise, you sit with the feeling. You notice the sensation, the emotion, but you don't let it control you. You understand that the insult is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a passing cloud in the vast sky of your mind. This is non-reactivity. It doesn't mean that we suppress our emotions or pretend that we don't feel hurt. It means we acknowledge the emotion, but we don't let it dictate our next action. We create space between stimulus and response. Now you might wonder, what's the benefit of not reacting? Isn't it better to stand up for ourselves or speak out when we feel wronged? In the short term, reacting may give us a sense of justice or satisfaction, but in the long run, it perpetuates the cycle of suffering. Reacting can lead to conflict, stress, and regret. Non-reactivity, on the other hand, brings peace, clarity, and freedom. By practicing non-reactivity, we cultivate a sense of inner peace, regardless of the external chaos. In the face of criticism or a difficult situation, we no longer feel threatened. We remain rooted in our center, unaffected by the storms of the world. Let me share a story from the Buddha's life, a beautiful example of the power of not reacting. It is said that once, while the Buddha was traveling, he came across a village. The villagers, not knowing who he was, began to hurl insults at him, calling him all sorts of names. At first, the Buddha simply listened. After some time, he asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, whose gift is it?" The villagers, confused, answered, "It would be the gift of the person who offered it." "Exactly," said the Buddha. "The insults are like that. They are not yours unless you accept them. I do not accept your insults, and so they are not mine." This story is a powerful reminder that we are not the sum of other people's judgments. When we choose not to react, we reclaim our peace. The gift of someone's negativity is theirs to keep, not ours to carry. So how can we practice non-reactivity in our daily lives? It's not something that happens overnight. It takes mindfulness, awareness, and patience. But here are a few steps you can begin with. First, observe your reactions. In any situation, take a moment to pause before responding. Notice the emotions that arise within you. Is it anger, frustration, defensiveness? Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. Second, breathe deeply. Breathing helps us return to the present moment and brings us out of our automatic reactions. It helps to break the chain of thought and emotion, giving us the space to choose how we respond. Third, ask yourself the question, will my reaction serve me or others in the long run? This simple question can guide us toward more peaceful and thoughtful actions, rather than reactive responses. Lastly, cultivate compassion and empathy. Remember, everyone is carrying their own burdens. Just as we are all affected by our emotions, so too are others. When we choose not to react, we are not only protecting our own peace, but we are also extending kindness and understanding to others. The ultimate freedom in life comes from our ability to respond rather than react. When we let go of the need to always defend our ego or fight for our rights, we open ourselves to the deeper wisdom and peace that comes with acceptance and equanimity. Non-reactivity doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. It means we act with wisdom, not out of blind emotion. We respond with compassion, clarity, and understanding. And in doing so, we transform the world around us. So, my friends, let us remember the power of not reacting. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, let us be anchored in our peace. Let us become masters of our emotions rather than slaves to them. For in stillness, we find our true strength. Thank you for joining me today. May you walk the path of mindfulness and non-reactivity, and may your days be filled with peace and tranquility.